All right. Nobody's listening to me. That's okay. But I do. I'm going to post this in Slack real quick. And then maybe I'll do it on Twitter, post a few things here and there so we can get some people in here. I'm doing this just on the fly. Obviously, I'm not prepared at all. But what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to look at leaders. I want to look at I'm in the middle of a Tesla. All right, I got a few people in here finally. Hey, what's up, Daniel? I should post this on Real Crypto. Maybe I'll get some. Maybe I'll get a few more. I have to change my profile, but that's okay. What's up, Daniel? You ready to do some work, Daniel? Are you ready? Put in some work. Hey, what up? What up, Rob? Good to see you, buddy. No, it's not Monday. Man, I have been. Dude, I'm going to show you this video in a second after I post this. You guys can watch this after we're done. But there's this dude that he 100 folded his account this year in basically Tesla. All the trades that I've been in. And don't get me wrong, I'm not slouching, but I'm not doing what this dude's doing. And I think that's a damn shame. Um, but I do want to do some homework. I kind of know what that guy's doing a little bit. And I view him, and I don't know everything the guy knows, but he doesn't know what I know, and I can just tell, if you know what I mean. Um, Let me put this on here. Doing a live stream. Time for some stock homework. Join in. Okay. No, no, not at all, Monkeytron. No, okay, so let me show you the video that I found. There's a gentleman. Yeah, this guy. Dave Lee has a channel, and he has this guy on, this dude right here. 100x in 1 year with Tesla. And I've been watching these videos for a couple hours. He's got several interviews with this guy. I'll just post it to Dave Lee's channel if you guys are interested. You can check it out later on. So this guy basically has done what I've done in Tesla, but has been able to make a ton more money than I've been able to make. And it's a little bit annoying, but I know how he did it. By taking, usually for me would be a very risky move. So you guys know me, I'm a technical trader, right? That's what I do. I know charts. I know that's what I know. This guy doesn't really know charts from what I can tell. He doesn't know charts. He knows Tesla really well, which is why he's done really well in Tesla. He bought he shorted the Qs before COVID, which is fine. Anyone can do that. He bought Square, which I think he still is holding Square if I'm not mistaken. Square's just been on a crazy tear here since COVID. He bought it probably somewhere down here. So he's still holding this. So he doesn't know what I know, and I think that's good for him. I'm not disparaging him by any stretch of the imagination. I probably know too much. As weird as that sounds, those of you guys that know me probably know that's true. And probably to my detriment, I know too much. So I can overanalyze things a lot. This guy doesn't let that impediment, get him down by any stretch of the imagination. He just kind of believes what he believes, and I don't know, so he's had a few stocks that he's been doing, but yeah, overanalyzing, Daniel. Yeah, I'm not disparaging the man at all. I'm not saying I'm better than him because I know a little more. I'm saying that I'm at a bit of a disadvantage because I've chosen to super educate myself. And that can put you at a disadvantage. But, because what I've noticed with my trading, if I were to go through and do a bunch of back testing, which I really haven't quite yet to do again, I did it a few months ago. 6 months ago, came up with some good insights into my trading. Like essentially, my average hold for a trade is 45 days. But the average option that I look to get at, although this wasn't in part of the analysis, but just generally, I like to look at options that are 60 days plus. Now, this guy was trading Tesla, and like, so he bought the same thing I did. I don't know when he bought. Oh no, he bought on the day of the announcement. So he bought, see, this guy bought after I bought and is still making more money than me. I'm a little bit perturbed. I actually bought right here. I didn't know about the S&P announcement. I just really liked the chart pattern. And then 2 days later, the S. So he bought here at the open. The difference, yeah, I know Monkeytron, but and I've been fighting with Ellie about this because Ellie and Rob are in my stock show every day, and so we go back and forth about stocks and options and stuff. But I'm really just trying to, I don't want to say perfect it, but hone it, like maximize what I can do, because all of these opportunities are few and far between, right? Like we understand that the market isn't always going to be in our favor. But so when we have these opportunities, we really have to take advantage of them. So he's up like 400% in this particular trade, and I think I'm like 150% up. So, he's drastically outperforming me. But he also has a January call. So keep in mind what he's doing. I don't know what strike price he had. He didn't say. But so he bought here. And so I'm going to go to my positions. Oh, I'm up 200%. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. So he's got this January 2021 time frame. I think it's like the 15th. Yeah, it's the 15th. I have a few of those going. So again, I don't know if he analyzes the price target. He must do that. He's not an idiot. So he said $1,000, and that was also my time horizon. But I was basing mine off the Apple trade, which took 6 months. And so what I did is I bought. So he took this option, and I took this option. So essentially, he's like, yeah, this thing's going to spike up here. Now, his goal is to 10x a position, which I think is a phenomenal goal. That's not my goal. Okay, my goal is slightly different. My goal is to, try to triple maybe a position. So my goal is like this. So all this extra time here, I know a lot of you guys don't trade options, but all this extra time I pay for. I pay for this extra time for this trade to work. And so that means my percentage gains are basically half of what his is, right? So if I bought this January, probably the same strike price, from what it sounds like, he doesn't have the options calculator that I have. So I've got a little bit of an edge from that perspective. But he's willing to take that risk where, like, I know better because I've been around the block a few hundred more times than this guy's been. He's fairly, I guess. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe that's not fair to him. Gotta get rid of those two. You know what? I can just do this. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like maybe he knows the risk he's taking and he's comfortable with it. I guess I just want a little less risky. And so maybe I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. But anyway, so that's why we're here, is that's gotten my blood boiling. Some dude's doing better than me, and I'm kind of pissed about it. And so I want to see how I can improve. Now, again, my edge is technical analysis and trading, right? So I give myself extra room with my options. I pay for the insurance. I talk about that, right? Talk about paying for insurance, which is what I did. And, I'm paying for it. So a couple of the mistakes, I was actually doing some math earlier. And based on the Tesla trades that I took, right? So I bought Tesla here, and then I sold it up here. I should have made 1,100%. I don't know my actual gain, to be honest with you. I'm not sure the actual gain. But I think I made about 250 to 300%. I don't know for sure. But because this was a straight stock trade. So I was scared. I didn't do an options trade here. I was a little bit scared, and I did a stock trade. So that hampered my performance right there. I guesstimated, and then so I pretty much while I did good, I botched every trade I've done. And so this is probably a good lesson for you guys, just to know that you don't have to be a perfect trader in order to make money. You just have to be, I guess, better than the next guy. So I took this leg right here. I bought in here, and I bought in here, and then I sold here. I sold there. So I took this leg, and I should have made 1100%. But I think I made, whatever that is. I don't know. Let's just average that out. I made like 170%. So I could have done almost 10 times better. So that's a little bit annoying from that perspective. And all this guy's done is trade options. He didn't do this. So this was a big mistake on my part. Okay? So this was a big mistake on my part. My next trade was also excellent. I bought here, and then I sold here after the pop. Now, this was a great trade. The problem is that half of my profit, I tried something here, which I'd never tried before, and then I got stuck in a position that was too big, I couldn't get myself out of it. Without going into too much detail, I essentially lost half my profit. So I only got half of my profit. So I'm down like 80% here. I'm down 50% here. Now this is the move that I actually just did naked calls. So on this one, I basically, I bought a call. So I bet it would go up. And I also sold a call, which is called a short call in some circles. Okay. And so I think the short call I had was, so my long call was from here, and then I had a short call from here. And so what happened is after I reached this price level, the gap between here and here was constant. I made no more money. So I had to maximize the trade, and once I did, I kind of bailed on the trade, and that's where I ended up bailing on the trade. I had a little more wiggle room, but it didn't quite work out, I think. No, I think I had a 3,000. Yeah, I had a 3,000. This topped out at 2,500. So anyway, half my profits were gone on this one. So I legitimately screwed myself by being a good trader, but not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. I screwed myself out of $1 million. Easy. I guesstimated by now, or by the time this trade ends, I should have ended up having $3 million. Is what I should have had. Okay, so I'm annoyed because it's not going to be anywhere near 3 million. It's not even going to be 1 million, and I'm a little bit annoyed. Yeah, on paper, Monkeytron, but still, these were trades that I actually took. Right? These were trades I took, and I botched both. I screwed up both of them, and I'm a little bit pissed about that. So hopefully, lesson learned, and I can move on from here. But I do want to handle this trade appropriately. Now, I do want to say that I currently have 2 different positions in Tesla. One of them expires in the July that I mentioned to you a little bit ago. And I've got another one, and I don't know what the profit percentage is on that. Well, actually, I kind of do. I have another one that I bought here. Again, I buy this thing really well. I had this one for $1,000 price target in September of 2023. I bought a really long-term leap. What's called a leap option. All right, so once again, let's find September. And then let's find September. And then we'll extrapolate out September. This is about when my option expires. So this is the situation. I have an option that expires currently, like I said, July. Let me get the date. 16th. I have an option that expires July 16th. Okay? And then I have an option that expires in December or September of 2023, which is what this line is indicative of. Daniel says, do you hold your options to expiration, or do you usually sell? I never hold to expiration. There's no need to. You don't even want to do that. That's a game for large institutions that want to buy, millions of shares. Okay, so I have this thought process right now. My thought process is this option is going to go this option that I have here that I have priced in for $900. Okay, I think this is going to hit based on what it's doing. We're going to have at least one corrective move in the middle here, but I believe sometime between now and this option is going to go full fold, and it's going to meet my expectations, hopefully exceeding them. Now, if you guys remember, Stacy with a question. Hello. When do you think you would cash in your option? When it's done. That's kind of what the homework I'm doing here, Stacy. I want to be prepared. So I'm doing some homework today. So I have an option that expires in July, and while this is that guy's trade, and I love him and hate him at the same time, and you can't be mad at that guy. This is my plan currently. $900 by July. I gave it an extra. So my model book Apple stock took 6 months. This is obviously vastly exceeding that. We're about, so I bought at 400. It's now at 600. So we're up 50%, and we've got another 33%, 50%. Oh yeah, 50% to go. Another 50% to go in the stock. All right, perfectly manageable right there. So I think this is going to hit. It's probably going to hit before January. So this dude is like taking out huge percentages, and I usually sell too early just because I'm used to making a lot of money and then losing most of it. So I've been in like just basic profit taking mode for the past couple of years, and it's done me well. Don't get me wrong, it's done me really well. But I have a very, very unique trade on my hands here. At least it's unique to me, and I want to maximize it. That's where you are going to sell, or where the option expires. The option expires here, Monkeytron. That's options expiration. And then this is my target. That's my target. And so this is just think of this as a trend line that you draw, just in case type of a thing. So that's the options expiration. Here's my target. That's a good way to do it right there. Right? So we're up here. Everything's fantastic. Okay. So now that you guys know a little bit of history on this, what I wanted to look at was my model book stock, and I also want to look at a couple other stocks as well. And if we can take this in other places, maybe we can do that too. But all right, so Apple's my model book stock, as you guys know, for this one. All right, so here's Apple. Here's the model book stock I have for Apple, symmetrical triangle, after a very substantial run up. And like I said, we're up 50%, and it took Apple that long to go up, 108 days to go up 50%. Obviously, we exceeded that. It's only like 12 days or something stupid. So there's a good possibility that this trend may just completely exhaust itself, or whatever the case may be, very quickly, and that dude's going to have his 10x, and I'm going to be pissed because I'm probably only going to have like 8x, which I guess is still a really good trade, so I can't be too mad at that. At the same time frame, Apple does have a bobble. Let me bring in some moving averages. Like I said, I don't think this is going to be a huge help because it's moving up so quick. So the 21, this thing did retest the 50-day moving average once in Apple. So this thing moved up 50% from, here's my early entry point. So 50%. Then this thing dropped 12%, 13%. So went up 50 and then down 13%. All right. So first of all, I'm not going to try to be smart, and I'm not going to try to play this move, okay? If you guys have read Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, if you haven't and you're a Power Hour member, you can get a copy in the links and resources section, and I highly recommend reading that. There's a gentleman who's an old trader when Jesse Livermore was coming up, and the only thing the guy would say was, "It's a bull market," and Jesse's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What do you think about this? It's a bull market, dude. Seriously, give me some context." And all he would say is, "It's a bull market." That's all he would say. And then he also said, "You would be nothing." He says, "I'm nothing without." Yeah, so Jesse would say, "Hey, well, why don't you take advantage of this thing that you know is going to happen, and then so you can get more shares?" Basically, time is sell-off. And he goes, "Son, I'm nothing without my position." And so the sage, wise old man, would only say, "It's a bull market, and I'm nothing without my position." And I think that is very, very wise. Of course, he's a wise old man. I'm not sure if he was real or not, but in the book, which is a fictional book, actually, so it probably never happened, very, very wise thing to do. Hold on to your positions when they're good. No need to really time anything to the nth degree, so you can get an extra 5 or 10%, something like that. Make sure that you're always in your position. Or, I know Monkeytron and myself too like to get more Bitcoin from time to time. Just be ready to jump back in at any time because, again, we're nothing without our position. So I'm not going to try to time a bobble like this because we may not get one. In 2020, how many moves have we seen go up several 100% with zero pullbacks? 100? It's been ridiculous, absolutely crazy. So, I mean, this Tesla thing could come to fruition sooner rather than later. Now, what I wanted to see was if that is the case on this Apple stock, which is my model, obviously Apple rose 100% and then put in a double bottom base. Monkeytron, boom, double bottom base, right? There's a potential breakout point. Technically, that's your breakout point, but you get my drift. What I'm thinking is that, okay, when I get my... Okay, so first off, I want to see if there was a sell signal on this. That's one thing I did want to look at. So let's do that real quick. Hey, what's up, Patel? UJ? UJ Patel? Should I call you UJ or Patel? I could just say, hey, you. I'm sure that's very, very popular. So yeah, first thing I'm wondering is, was there what were the technical signatures here on this particular? I guess we can pull up RSI. RSI had a double top divergence. Looks like we were up here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, basically hitting this 80 level of the RSI. Who would have known on the 8th time it fails? So RSI is useless. Volume aggregation tool would have been good. Look at that right there. On my volume aggregation tool, you flipped right at a pretty good point. Would have got you out really close to the top. Now, what about close to the top using our Pi method rules, which probably none of you know about? Our Pi method rules are looking for an exit. And questions, would that be an exit? That may be an exit. That is very likely an exit, and I probably would have taken that exit. So that's a potential exit point. And let's say you give it a little bit of room. You end up with basically one more spike up after a little bit of run. And then you would have really had to give this thing some leeway. And then boom, there's another Pi exit. So 2 Pi exit signals. Again, both really, really good signals. I'm not mad at either of them, really. About a 12.5% difference, which for me is a lot. Bitcoin appears to be wanting to run right now. I think I may try to add to a position. Were those bots at the bots? What do you mean? Yeah, I think BTC's. I think the whole market's probably moving. Oh, geez. That's not what I wanted to do. I just want a little bit more screen. More screen. Oh, yeah. Bitcoin's looking pretty good here, guys. All right. Okay, so here's some cells right here for me. There's 2 cells right there. The Pi exits. No, they weren't. No, there's a 12% price difference between the two, Monkeytron. But keep in mind, you've already gone up from the breakout point 75% and then 94%. So you could have tried to take partial profits here. But see, here's the point. And see, this is where something as crazy as Tesla and as crazy as Apple, this is where they have something in common, is they're both early in their product life cycle. Very early. Okay, and that is key, in my opinion. They're very early in their product life cycle, okay? So this breaks out, goes up 100%, then you have a double bottom base that forms, and then you start another subsequent run, and it actually doesn't really start getting really exaggerated for a while here. Okay, so we had a base. Now this was likely a measured move, probably from the low. Okay, I guess I could do it with that, whatever. Okay, so it actually exceeded the measured move. So there's your base, there's your base top. And obviously, depending how you wanted to take this, you could take it from the breakout point and go from the breakout point up, which you obviously exceeded it. Or you could take it from the low and then go from the low. And even that would exceeded it. We don't even have a stopping point right now in Tesla. Is it too late to get in on Apple and Tesla? Well, this isn't an Apple trade, Tesla or Stacy. I don't know how everyone's confused when I talk about Apple and Tesla. This is a chart from 2005. I'm using this as basically a model for the current Tesla chart. This is almost like my template for my trade. This isn't an actual active trade on Apple. This is 15 years ago, and all's good in the hood type of a thing. I think Tesla is going to go up to 900 towards 1,000, maybe more. This went up from the bottom here as much as 139%. So you can take the 400 Apple price times 1.39, 2.39. I always do that wrong. $956. So pretty spot on with my 900 target there. When you get towards those big round numbers, if you guys remember or haven't seen me or whatever, when I took very, very similar situation, so similar it's scary actually. When Tesla was on the first run up before the split and it rallied from 250 to almost 1,000, I told everyone to sell at 950. It got to 960. And for the same reason I'm saying 900, and I'm not even saying 950, I'm just saying 900 just to be conservative, because I just want to make sure I take profits off the table in appropriate situations. So, if Tesla flashes any exit signals up here, I'm out, right? I'm out. Now, to give this thing an opportunity on the run up here, do we have an exit signal that we likely want to try and hold through? That is not an exit signal. That is a bottoming signal. By the end of the day, it's not really even sliced all the way through. Then you have a huge rebound the following day. Then this is right back at it. So, going to have to hold through a bobble or two in Tesla, but I think that's expected if you want to have a phenomenal trade. You can't treat it like every other trade and just jump out of it. Otherwise, I'm going to take 100% profit instead of a 600% profit, which is my target, is a 600% profit. And if it gets there early, it'll likely be, a much... like I said, about 800%. I'm just guessing for that. I don't know for sure. That's weird. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So anyway, Apple came up here, bobbled, and then based, and then continued. So I guess the question I have, and I think I probably already know the answer to this, I probably will liquidate up here. That's probably the plan, is to liquidate once we do get an exit signal, lock in some profits. I'm going to try not to be pulled back in. It's very difficult to do, to not get sucked into a trade you've been highly successful in, especially when you see a breakout. Like, say you exited here. When you get that kind of a breakout, of course you're going to want to get back in. But then it fails to go any higher. Then it starts to base again, because you already had you already had an exit signal here. Then another one steps in. Then this base starts to form. You've got a big bounce off with a 200-day moving average in Apple here. It actually undercuts it substantially. I'm fairly confident. So in terms of, this Apple is my model stock, like I mentioned in my template. I think this run is, I don't want to say guaranteed because nothing's guaranteed, but this is really likely to play out. So if this is like 90% chance, this is like 10% chance that we're even going to have any idea what this base is going to look like. If it's a double bottom base like this, I'll be freaking shocked, and I'll be buying the fuck out of Tesla again. Um, so I sell here, the thing drops 36%. I'm all over that fucking thing. Probably with another leap. And anyway, let it continue. So Apple actually continues this run. My model book is just this leg. This is the only thing I've considered to this point, which is why I'm doing this homework session. And I know I'm explaining a lot to you guys because most of you don't know what I do and what I've been doing. So, I'm just, I guess, explaining to you and reiterating to myself and reinforcing at the same time. Hey, what's up, Ian? Going pretty good, man. I'm a little pissed today, and I'm trying to homework my way through it. Guys, I need to get some water. Give me a minute or so. I'll be right back. Monkeytron, entertain everyone. Why don't you juggle or something? All right, guys. I'm back. Think that took too long, did it? I think I just rolled over my sweater. All right, what do we got? Did you juggle, Monkeytron? He's a pretty good juggler. I can't even play music and refuse to juggle without a circus vibe. Well, Mel just joined, so it kind of got a lot more circusy. Sup, Mel? Okay. All right. So, yeah, I think whenever Tesla does finally top, my plan is to exit the trade. If we get a large downtrend like this, my option will not hold up very well. Even if it's only like a 7-week pullback, my option will likely evaporate by about 50% of value of the actual value and profit. So say it was 100 and it goes up to 800, it'll probably be at 400 by the time it's down here, maybe less. Because look, the way options work are kind of ridiculous. So I will have to exit up here. And again, looking to reload on some type of a pullback. I've been very fortunate with Tesla to have timed my entries extraordinarily well, and hopefully that can continue. Hopefully that can continue. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so now again, Tesla and Apple product life cycles very early here. Now I know a lot of people think valuation on Tesla is really big. I don't give a shit about valuation, to be quite honest with you. Not because it doesn't matter, because it does matter, but only because, in my opinion, and hindsight will prove me right or prove me wrong, Tesla's valuation is appropriate for today. I don't think it's appropriate for the future. I think their value today is what it is, and institutions are buying it. Not out of hype, but out of actual value. Is there going to be some hype built into there? Sure, there's going to be some, but is that 10%, 20%? It's not 50%. So I definitely think that Tesla's valuation, while getting a little bit inflated right now, in the future, you'll find his PE ratio is probably similar to the other large, high-flying companies, similar to Amazon. And Apple I don't think ever had any crazy high valuations. It actually was kind of been a value stock. But why is Apple comparable to Tesla? Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, this setup on this particular... So here, I'll pull up both charts side by side. So, pulling up both charts side by side here, I mean, do you see the similarities there? You got so you have to take COVID out, which is kind of hard to do, but you got a big run up, a big, then a continuation, big run up, then a symmetrical triangle. Here you have a big choppy continuation. Look at these legs. These legs right here are just, these extensions up are ridiculous. in both of these stocks. And then you get symmetrical triangles. And then again, like I said in my Tesla to 1000 video, is that this is the model book stock. This is and it's doing it. Like it's in the middle of it right now. There's the target. It's right here. So, maybe we're starting this consolidation. We just had our first like minor topping day. For crying out loud, it was still up 2%, 3%, right? And then, Apple bobbled a lot more. The one thing that's different about Tesla versus Apple back here is the people that believe in Tesla here are much more convincing than the people that believed Apple here. Because when you think about it, this is when Apple came out with the iPod, then they had the iPhone, then they had the iPad, right? So this cycle here was before the phone, before the pad. This was just the iPod, which was almost thought to be somewhat gimmicky and unsure that it was going to be a success, and it eventually became a massive success. But the institutions ran it up like it was going to be a gargantuan success. They proved out to be correct. Tesla is a little bit different. They have cars and semi-trucks, and they've announced the robo-taxi. I think Tesla right now would be like if Apple came out in 2005, which they did not do, and say, hey, we're going to do an iPhone, then an iPad. Like, Tesla's laying the whole fucking roadmap for you out. It's like, it's showing you the 10-year plan with some actual numbers in some cases, and they're executing it, versus where Apple kept everything close to the vest and only kind of piecemealed things out from time to time. Now, I bet some institutions kind of got the inkling of an iPhone and an iPad, right? Which is why maybe they were able to participate. But Tesla, everyone knows what they're going to do. It's just whether you believe they're going to do it or not. And if you don't believe they're going to do it, then you have your sunglasses on, because they're doing it, and there's no question is if they can do it. It's just, when's it going to get done? So I think that's how those two are comparable. The roofs don't matter, Topher. Who gives a shit about the roofs? It's all about cars and robo-taxis. When it comes to the stock performance, I mean, look, they're going to make more money in probably in-car app sales than they ever will with solar roofs. It's just the way that it is. I mean, unless they can somehow make it whatever, but yeah, and that's not even including the power generation side. Once they get the battery problem solved in about 3 to 4 years, and they're cranking batteries out at least at a decent pace, then they'll start to do. Then they can start to really ramp up on all of this stuff, which I think is phenomenal. Oh, shut up, Mel. You're gonna try to bring me down off my high, and I'm not even on a high actually. It's just anyway. I'm just doing technical analysis, but. Oh, your dad owns... Oh, really? Owns a roofing company. Okay, at least you didn't start this with what if. You may continue. I thought you were going to go all what if on me. Listening to Mel. Which means we could be here for another 45 minutes. Yeah, well, like, I'm not even including solar roofs in my analysis. It's basically, it's like I just said, I'm like, I don't really care about the solar roofs. It's not even an issue. It's just not even an issue. But I think the main thing is that early product life cycle for Tesla, early product life cycle for Apple, and everyone's, okay. Oh, if they get the cost down, they'll be awesome. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what they're. Yeah, I don't know what. I just replaced my roof actually in about August, September. Yeah, the dude made a fucking killing on mine, but it was an insurance replacement, so I only paid $1,000. So I let him make his money. No, both. I mean, they're doing both businesses. That's great. So okay, so going back, to Monkeytron's Apple Tesla comparison, I wasn't comparing them, although it happens to work out very nicely where both of these companies are number one changing the game in their industry. Keep in mind, phones were already an existing industry. MP3 players already existed, but they kind of sucked. Apple made them cool. Then they rechanged the phone, even though phones were an existing industry. And I was listening to that live stream, and they said that the Apple iPhone wasn't even a sure thing when it first launched. They thought it may be dead on arrival. Well, they kind of thought the same thing about the Model 3. You're seeing just so many parallels between Apple and Tesla. It's just stupid. And the crazy thing here, so if you view, okay, let's get back to my analysis, what I'm actually trying to do. So like I said, I have an option that goes out, what is it, like 2 years now? I got an option that goes out 2 years. And from this base where I bought it, going out to April 07, the thing was up 187%. Okay, so it's up 187%. I think this may actually go more than that, to be honest with you, but it may actually go up more than that. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. You never do quite know. But I just took a far out option. I could roll that into January of the next year. So I have September. Wait a minute, I didn't pick September. Oh, there's September. What am I doing? I'm shortchanging myself. Oh, 304%. That's more like it. So 304% actually. People do roofing. Usually the roofer has to carry the cost of the job on the front end, but in the back, 30 to 40% of that is profit. Cool. Yeah, not mad at it. Yeah, he did really well. My roof was 14 grand. He made like 7 or 8. I mean, greedy bastard. Why can't you give me, just pay the $1,000 on my deductible? You already made like 8 grand. He was just a salesman. He subbed out the roofer. Anyway. Okay. So I bought I bought Tesla here at 343. What's 300% times 343? Be like $1,200, right? Seems like easy math. 343 times 4, basically 4. 1372. All right. So 1372 would be the price for Tesla at that particular point in time. What do you mean, Monkeytron? That's funny. Actually, Mel, I found that out too. Yeah, it's illegal to do that. I think that's nationwide. I don't think that's a thing. Anyway, I didn't ask him for that. I already looked it up. It's illegal. It's illegal. That's okay. Which I think is weird. It's like the insurance company everyone's trying to just screw the homeowner. They do have the windshields all the time over here. Get $100. Get your windshield. Anyway, so my longer term Tesla option, going by this model book, has a potential 304% return. My actual, let me do some math real quick. All right, so that's not too bad. I got 3 of them. I paid $171.95. So if that is the case, maybe I'll finally have a profit equal to this guy. So what I say, 1372 minus what I paid, 171.95, minus the strike price, 352. That's 848 profit if it gets there. So 171.95 divided by 848. What is that, 400%? Because math works backwards. Yeah, okay, almost 500%. That's pretty shitty. Okay, I don't really like that either. That's a weird one. That's a weird one there. Well, his strategy was very similar to. It's actually really, really close to mine. We have very similar strategies. Um, just horrendously similar strategies. So what I do is I buy high quality, hopefully large cap stocks breaking out of bases, and but I don't know exactly his. He hasn't laid out all of it. They've mainly talked about his Tesla trades because they've been so amazing. And part of it, he's super fortunate that Tesla's done so well, and he knows Tesla so well. That's part of the. I mean, I'm very fortunate from that perspective too. It's not unique to that guy. But about half. Well, until this last trade where I put most of my account in Tesla, half my money was made from Tesla, half made from my other trades. So, it's still being healthy and having general good trading sense helps. You have to have that, but the other half is identifying something as quality as a Tesla and then being able to trade it effectively is a good thing too. And the options really just make it uber good. So, all right, so let's get back to Apple. So Tesla, I mean, Tesla's already up. These aren't even comparable from a time axis perspective. I almost could put on a secondary trade. So in freaking 10 days, this stupid thing's up actually over 35 because I have to take it from the bottom here. So it's up 44% in 11 days. Holy crap. I didn't realize it was that short of a time frame. Keep in mind, for Apple to go up the same 44% took basically 82 days. Dang. So it's 8 times faster. Later, Mel. Yeah, I agree, but it's still going to pale in comparison to selling, cars and cars and cars. I know what you're saying, though, and I agree. Okay, so, maybe Tesla will measured move this at some point. Maybe we do go into a basing situation. Let's bring in some moving averages. Which there's not too many to take into consideration, considering the fact that this just happened 11 days ago. You're not really getting too many of those. So let's take EMA 1 or MA 1, so 21, MA 1, which is the 10-day. Okay, so we'll take the 10-day and the 20-day here. Now Apple loosely ran up the 20-day on this particular chart. You see it respected, broke to the 50, and then respected the 20-day basically the rest of the way up. So wonder if we could do that with the 10-day moving average because it's so much more. So that would be this purple, ugly purple color, or deep maroon red, I guess. Okay, let's do that one. Okay, so maybe we get back to the 10-day at some stage, and then you can measured move this back up again. That would get you to 800. Maybe I can take a shorter term options trade on that to try to get a little bit of a boost, because it is moving up. Like I said, I got the stupid thing till July, so one of two things is going to happen. This thing is going to top. Oh, now there is something else to take into consideration. I think December Tesla S&P inclusion date. I think it's like the 10th or the 21st. Yeah, okay. 21st. Boom. So, maybe something like that. We get there by the 21st. That gives us, a week to stall and then another move to the upside. And if that happens that quickly, one of two things is going to happen. Number one, it's just going to continue, which would be bonkers, right? Which would be bonkers if it gets past the target. Absolutely insane in the membrane, right? If it gets past 1,000 again. Again, keep in mind, this means they would be at 5,000 pre-split. So that's, 2,500 is like here. So, I mean, one thing could happen is that. Another thing could happen is that same double bottom base or some other semblance of base or something. In which case you want to try to rebuy at the low. Now, if we go back to Apple, using our model book stock method here, there we go. Okay, so using our model book stock, let's take a look at what Apple did after it based. So let's take a look at Apple's behavior. So first of all, number one, respected 20-day line. 2, pulled back to 50-day line. Right, pulled back to the 50-day, respected the, actually it's a 21 EMA is what it is, respected 21 EMA day line, pulled back to the 50-day, and then once it based, it bounced off the 200, and then it undercut everything. I could probably try to look at some other weird moving average up here, but I'm not going to. I wonder if the move down was measured. Yeah, it was, but it didn't even fill out the measured move, actually. And then after it topped, we're out of it. We're watching it. It breaks the 50-day moving average, and then you're definitely out of it if you weren't out of it on those two sell signals. And then a huge gap up, I'm assuming, on earnings or news. We bottom out here, which is not the high volume day. So getting in here or here, and then it goes on another immediate 80% run, and then it bases a little bit more in type of looks like a flat base, and then goes on for an additional 54% run. Good question, Patel. 30%, 30 to 33%. That is the most you want to see a double bottom base. So actually, this one went down 40%. So that actually breaks the rule, but you can see it still works out very well. Okay, so there's different types of flat bases. One is, well, actually I just showed it to you. It's the flat base where you go down less than 15%. So here's the high. And actually 17%, I guess it's going wider is what it is. So 17% here. Then you have a double bottom base. Should be maximum 33%, but it's Apple. Who cares? Same with Tesla. Who cares? You have to keep in mind, too, a lot of normal stocks at some point will fail and will eventually go lower. Apple's not a normal stock. Tesla's not a normal stock. Amazon is not a normal stock. These basically go up perpetually. Microsoft, not a normal stock. Facebook, not a normal stock. Just you can pick the really, really dominant ones where the businesses aren't going anywhere. They're not normal stocks. So, not that the rules don't apply to them, but the rules kind of don't apply to them. All right. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to see. That trend line right there, guys. Those of you that know me know the pi method. Know what that is. Oh, VETUSD just alerted. That's a good one. And look at this, all held within that trend line right there. So let's look at Tesla's trend line. There we go. Okay. So we're going to have a couple different ones, actually. I don't think we're going to have one. Ooh, coronavirus just kills this fucking thing, man. You know what? I'm ignoring coronavirus. Oh, yes! Nice. See, you ignore corona. We did this. Remember Monkeytron? Oh, Mel left, but we did this with Bitcoin. And look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Hopefully it'll respect this. Even if we go up, hopefully this trend line gets respected. Let's move this to a dash. Okay, hopefully this trend line gets respected on Tesla. If we bounce up like this and we come up and maybe we exceed a little bit, then we come up, maybe we do a cup and a handle or something. And then boom. But guess what's respected the entire time? That trend line. Ah! What? What? Stop it. What's happening? I'm clicking. It's not going away. No, I broke it. I literally broke TradingView just now. Okay, did I save it? All right, I have to refresh. I just broke TradingView. I think that was something they'd never tested in their testing before. I finally... Do they have a bug fixing contest? I could maybe get myself, you know, $5,000 or something. All right, so we found our trend line in Tesla. And we know some moving averages, although it's unclear which one it's going to respect yet if we do get some pullbacks. But like I said, the question... And ooh, look at the volume. Ooh, I wonder what Apple does with the volume aggregation tool. I've never tested it back in the day. Let's see. Oh, I got you back in 2020, you bastard. All right, there we go. All right, so how's our VA tool doing here? All right, so we break out. Green, 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 green. Then we go red. Then we go green. Then we go red on the breakout. And then we do flip red again with quite a bit of selling pressure here. And then on our breakout, we do flip green. Go volume aggregation tool. Looks like someone knows what the fuck they're talking about. When you let me know when you meet that guy, because I'd like to meet him. Flip here, and then we're basing, so we go mixed, and then boom. I don't think it's right on the breakout, but shortly thereafter, it gets, there's the volume aggregation tool flipping again. And then goes on another run for 100%, and definitely was choppy in between. Has a cup and a handle. Don't know if that meets minimum requirements. Yes, it does. Or does it? Wait a minute. 7 times 5 is 35. 57. Okay. Cup and a handle, and then we're off. So big, huge double bottom base. Not sure if the market corrected at that particular time or not. Flat base, cup and handle, and then boom, you finally go up, and then you finally have a main exit signal, which it's Apple. It doesn't last very long. And oh, that's actually 2008. So... And so that is that's Apple, guys. And if our Tesla is anything like Apple, by the time we broke here till we finally topped out, we're up 289% over 1,153 days. I'm not going to let it run for that long. I'll take my profits a lot sooner because that's in the options market when the most money is made. But in my opinion, I mean, this is the leg that we're in. So I think this is the most pertinent and important leg. Let's go look at the volume aggregation tool. So Tesla, again, also just, look at that, just turned up. I wonder. Yeah, so the volume aggregation tool just turned up on Tesla. RSI has been as high as 92. This is a pretty good move up, even up here. We spiked up here at about 87. I don't know how much higher we could get. Not that much higher with this tool here. Let's go see what Apple did with the RSI. So on the way up, see it chopped around. This one was a lot more choppy, obviously. And then you have the one minor correction, or a pullback. It's not even a correction. It's just a pullback. And then a continuation. I'm not exactly quite sure how it's going to handle it. I don't know if the RSI will even matter. I'm not an RSI trader. One thing with this volume aggregation tool, the volume is smaller here on Tesla. It was also smaller in Apple on the breakout. You can see here it had one high volume candle, and most of it was under average volume until a little bit later. Tesla is above average volume. It's also moving much faster, so volume signatures may be a little bit better in one perspective and a little bit worse in another perspective. So, okay, so definitely some similarities, definitely some differences between these two, but a lot of things standing out. I like the volume aggregation tool signs flipping bullish. I like the fact that we're moving more accelerated. I am expecting a pullback. I'm telling myself to hold through pullbacks. I expected one the past 3 days, and I haven't gotten one really. Got some selling pressure on Friday, but that was about it. It was still up over 2%. So Tesla pulling back, I think, is in the near future. Not just based on this model books, not just based on this model book stock, but I mean, rarely do things just go up. Even on this leg up here, which started out very similarly, you can see you get a pullback here, and then it rallies. So looks like it respects this orange line the entire time up on this particular leg. What's that one? Gray? What's the fuck's gray? What? Is that this one? Oh, it is that one. Okay. So that's my MA10. My MA1, which is the 10-day moving average. So on this leg, it does respect the 10-day. It undercuts the 10-day just a little bit, never closes underneath of it. So at a minimum, I definitely think we can expect a retest of the 10-day, which right now is like $70 lower. Crazy. So maybe Tesla will pause and wait for it to catch up before it tries to go meet it. I don't know. Now, on the bright side of things, and which is crazy, is that the Nasdaq, with the Qs here, it looks like it just wants to start breaking out. This is the Nasdaq. Look how beautiful that is. That's basically a cup and a handle. While this isn't very classical cup and handle, you have a semblance of a handle over here, overtaking this high a little bit. I mean, it really does look like the Nasdaq wants to start breaking out. Not sure if it's going to do it, but keep in mind we have vaccine in the news. Market is forward looking, and so unless there's anything bad vaccine wise, I think the market's going to do okay. If we get some Fed money coming out, which I haven't heard hide nor hair about anything about, injection of liquidity in the markets. I'm not sure, like I said, what that's going to do, but I do think it's interesting that Tesla's already broken out substantially, way ahead of the market. Way. So this is a leader. You guys know about me. I like leaders and first movers. This is both of them wrapped into one with a bow and some extra chocolate for you. And anyway, look, maybe we talked about this thing continuing. Like, I don't know where this freaking company could go. I really don't. I don't do targets, but with my options trading, I at least have to have a semblance of an idea that, I picked for it to basically double from the high, which was at 500 to 1,000, pick 900 as my target to not be greedy. And I mean, it's exceeding all expectations 2 weeks out, 2 weeks into the trade by a long shot. So with the Nasdaq just breaking out, is this going to get additional buying pressure? With the Nasdaq getting bullish, is that going to bring more people into the market getting more bullish and feeling better and better about Tesla? If so, we could definitely exceed that $1,000. And if we do exceed that $1,000, I don't know where it could go to. It seems insane it would go past 1,000. But at the same time, if the market's running, where are you going to put money into? If you're an investor, if you're an institution, a hedge fund, if you're running a bunch of money and you're looking at high growth stocks for the next 5 years, Tesla's got to be on your radar. It's a very liquid stock. You can pump a shitload of money into it. You're not limited at all. It's a super high market cap. So hey, what's up, Andrew? It's a super high market cap. I mean, there's all the signs that this is an institutional loving stock. It should love institutions. Institutions should love it. So, I mean, I don't know what the sky point is for this. I really have no idea because, yeah, I'm not trying to hype you into it, Andrew. I'm literally just this is homework. Maybe, Andrew. I mean, you may get a little bit. I don't know how much money you're planning on putting in, but you may get a little bit. I don't know. But who cares? I mean, it could gap up tomorrow. I don't know. What's the Nasdaq doing? I think the futures are open right now. So let's look at the futures right now. What are the futures doing? And okay, we're not really going too far. We're up a little bit. we have a little bit of a gap up, but the market's just open, so it's not like we're getting any major indication. But we could end up. We can end up with a nice day on Monday. I mean, that the market is getting good again. We got COVID vaccines, guys. We got, whatever headline you're reading that's bearish, they're full of shit, because this market is about ready to pop. I mean, every indication is the market's ready to pop. It doesn't mean every stock is ready to pop. Tesla's already popped. So if the NASDAQ keeps going over the next 4, 5, 6 months, why would Tesla not? I don't. And and then to that same point, like, not that you could extrapolate it in this fashion, but if this is 2 weeks worth of action, you got 2 weeks of pullback, then you got 4 weeks, 4 weeks right there, and then you got maybe some sideways, then 2 more weeks. So then by the beginning of the year, you're well over 1,000, and then maybe you start to base, and then maybe the market pulls back, and then we start to continue to go up, and maybe we're on our way to 1,500, 12, 1,300 on Tesla. If the market's going to go, the market's going to go. You got to keep in mind too, guys, 2021, you're going to see a lot of production come online for Tesla. It's going to be big. And they haven't even announced the next Gigafactory yet. I guarantee they're planning it. They got to get Fremont up to speed. They got to get, Germany and China up to speed. And then, after that, we haven't heard anything about how many additional Gigafactories. If anyone's heard anything about that, let me know. But initially, they were planning on like 20 Gigafactories. And then with this recent Battery Day presentation, they said that they were going to be able to reduce footprint by like 70%. So maybe they only need 10 Gigafactories to produce their 10 to 20 million cars a year. I don't know what the number is, but you're going to start to see those come out. Texas is obviously going to be online in the next 8, 9, 10 months, something like that. So these guys are in the middle of their growth phase, and when the growth phase is on, that's when these stocks make their big runs. So see, here's the thing, everyone's looking like, oh, Tesla's getting to 1,000. That's true. So you have this context right now, right? This is your context to Tesla. Let me give you some additional context. What does that look like? What does this look like from a stock chart perspective? I don't know. But all I know is if you're going to look at Tesla's numbers, their car production is going to look like this. The profits are probably going to be a little bit elevated like this. If they get robotaxi, it's going to look like this, maybe this. So your fundamental numbers are all trending in this direction. So why is your target here? Shouldn't it be here? Now, as crazy as a run as it's already had, and this is coming from a guy with like 75% of his money in Tesla, right? As crazy a run as we've already had, like, what makes that not feasible? What makes that, fundamental case wrong? Is there a situation where Tesla actually drops? I don't know what it is. I really don't. Like I said in my other stream, barring a factory catching on fire and putting production back 6 months, I don't know what's going to stop it. I really have no idea. I think a lot of people right now are just thinking about cars. Anyway, it's not meant to be necessarily like a Tesla trying to get you guys to buying it, but like technically, what does that look like? And then if you look at Apple, okay, so that's Apple. Let's look at Amazon. Another one you could potentially compare it to, which I haven't actually, So if we have a model book stock for Amazon, so coming out, okay, so Amazon prior to 2000, crazy. All right, so now we're after 2000. So now we pop up. Do we have a model book, a potential? There's a minor potential flag here. It's not really classic symmetrical. It's not too bad though. And this one goes on to go up 170%. Consolidates for a very long period of time. Bubbles, there's 2008, 2009. So you can argue this was that kind of expansion leg up. And a lot of stocks were weird through this 2004 to 2008 era. Some did really well. Apple did really well, obviously. Amazon didn't. But then coming out of 2008, I think by then they were in their stride. The internet was obviously in a much better place. We're after 2009. And then the thing just hasn't freaking stopped since, essentially. I don't know if this... I mean, this is a different kind of a company. And the chart isn't showing as much... I mean, it's kind of just straight up. I mean, kind of. I don't really see any major similarities in terms of model book stock looking for flag patterns. Yeah, see, this just looks like another one of those continuation patterns in Amazon. Sideways here, and then COVID breakout. So here, and then you got these consolidations. There's one, there's a little one. There's a big one, some bobbles, but I mean, all in all, it did okay. But really, the best run was that one. And this one too was pretty good. So I'm not sure there's a ton of comparison here to Amazon. I think their growth rate was relatively steady too, but they don't have near the margins. And maybe that's why Apple's a better one, because Apple has much more comparable margins to Tesla than Amazon. Amazon's margins are slim compared to Apple's, which are just ridiculously large, which is one of the reasons why they're so crazy of a stock. These consumer stocks tend to do very, very well, and this is this is another example. Microsoft, not quite the same business as Apple or Amazon, actually. So that's got to be their high from 2008. We broke out 2015. Yep. This has been a pretty steady eddy. Double bottom base there. Weird ass deep cup and handle with COVID. It's not even really a cup and handle. I don't think Facebook is... It's too new. I'm not going to get anything like that on Facebook. No symmetrical triangles. Maybe ISRG. ISRG was a huge winner. William O'Neill, the man himself, early on just had a shitload of money in ISRG. I heard at one point he had almost all of his account in ISRG. I think it was during this run. Let's look at ISRG. So not a consumer company, consumer product company, but obviously a very, very high quality company. So here's a big long base go to a big run up. Not very comparable though. Not really. Still doing good though. Booking. Booking.com used to be Priceline, if you guys remember that. Also not a company that what's a company that made physical products? I can't think of one that just blew up where the whole world bought it. Which is what iPad, and that did. Now Tesla. But like I said, Tesla's already laid out all their roadmap. Here's a small symmetrical triangle after a run up. Doesn't look... It may be symmetrical. Maybe. This one... There's 100, went up a little more, about 140%. So yeah, it's probably unlikely Tesla's going to get past that 1,000 barrier out of that type of a base. Very unlikely, but if I don't have an exit signal, I'm going to have to hold on. That's the only thing to do. Booking's been relatively hasn't done well the past couple of years, has it? All right, what else we got? Gosh, there's so many that I don't know of, I'm sure. Taser, which is now, for some reason, the worst stock symbol in the history of mankind. Change your name to something stupid. Because they're idiots. Gosh, look at that run. Hey, look, a symmetrical triangle. Good God, man. Look at that thing. Shoosh. I remember that, but that was a little, not quite before my time, but... oh, yeah, Netflix Topher. That's a good one. Look at this thing. Shit. 500% goes up another 250. Another 1,000%. How about Tesla going up 1,000%, going to 5,000 over 202 days? I'll take a $5,000 Tesla. Woo! Talk about wish you would have invested more. Of course, this, I don't know at the time, this was maybe a couple billion, maybe a billion going to 10 billion, or 2 billion going to 20 billion. I mean, that would make Tesla basically a $5 trillion stock, which I think it will get there one day, but that's 10 years. I don't know if that's today. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's another one. You see, I mean, so we've seen 3 of these so far in very explosive stocks, and all 3 have gone on to have 100% moves. So here, another very similar thing. You go up, you go sideways, and then you jerk up, and then you base, and then you continue rallying through like mad. Just continue rallying through. All right, Netflix. Do I have one there? No, that is just I was doing something there. I don't know what it was, but don't need to be doing it anymore. So Netflix, yeah, this could be one. There appears to be a larger symmetrical triangle, although I'm not sure how symmetrical it is. Similar, jut up, go sideways, jut up again, symmetrical triangle, and again, a big rally through, 300%. So Netflix, also possible. Let me write these down. So we got Netflix circa 2016. We got Apple 2005. And what was the last one? I just freaking looked at it. I don't even know what I'm doing. Ah, Axon. Circa way long time ago. 2003. I was a youngster in this one. I remember the move, but I was too much of a youngster to play it. I'm like, good God, man, I had no idea how to handle that. Today I'd be like, holy fuck, this is great. Complete different situation. But back then, yeah. Look at that run. One of the best runs of all time. Basically, 5,800% in a year. Yeah, a year and 2 weeks. Absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Okay, so we got 3 model book stocks. And I'm going to write Tesla on here too. Tesla 2020. Okay. What else? NVIDIA. Hi, babe.
Dinner is waiting for you.
What we got? Okay, thank you. All right, I already see one right there. Bam. Similar setup. Move up, little sideways, jut up, symmetrical triangle. Although this one kind of is a descending triangle. And this one takes a sweet-ass time and goes up 100. There's a 100% run. So, looks to be fairly common, guys. That looks like to be... God damn, let's just find a shitload of these. Good God, man. Those are amazing. That's got to be one of the better performing setups I've ever seen continuously. All right, NVIDIA. So that, I'm just going to say 100%. Oops, darn it, didn't write the year down. 2017. So preceded by a move of 365%. How do I want to represent this? I'm going to make a little table on my paper here. So we have symbol, year, pre-run. Technically, it's called a run-up. I'm an idiot. They're all going to have symmetrical triangles. Okay, so got Tesla, Netflix, Apple, Axon, NVIDIA. That's what we've got so far. AMD. All right, we'll take a look at AMD, Topher. Tesla's 2020. Netflix is 2016. I found a great pattern right there, guys. Like, fucking seriously. You guys see that? You beat me on the head with it until I listen to you. Because sometimes some people come on here and I laugh at them a little bit because I just like to have fun. I'm not literally laughing at you. But yeah, beat me over the head. Say, Randy, you're stupid. Randy, you're stupid. Randy, you're stupid. You told me to call you stupid. And I'll be like, oh, I did? Well, this must be important. Because it is important. Okay, so pre-run in NVIDIA was 365%. Post-run, let's go from the breakout point. I'm just going to go to this little point here, 126%. All right, next was Axon, which was the craziest one of all time. Obviously, pre-run is ridiculous, 449%. You know what's funny is I hear all the time, oh, these things can't go up any higher, and they just continuously do. This one up 108. I mean, this one really just did keep going 1,000, 1,100%. It just is what it is. Apple, I think we already know about that one, but let's get the pre-run. And then I'm going to go, guys. Wife made some dinner, which is amazing. I didn't know she was doing that. Gotta love dinner. So your pre-run in Apple is a shitload, 490%. And your post-run is 107%. Netflix is 2016. Why is that back on there? It didn't save any of my drawings, did it? You suck. Now I have to do it all over again. I think it's that one right there. So your pre-run on this one, let's go take it from the gap, 780%. You know what's funny? We're looking for stocks that are up hundreds of percent so we can gain 100%, 312%. Doesn't that seem strange? It just seems a little strange. And then Tesla, our current one. What's our run on this? About 348%. And we don't know what the post run is yet, but we have 107, 126, 312, and 1100%. So my target seems pretty safe. We found 4 model book stocks for Tesla. That's some fucking homework, ladies and gentlemen. AMD, let's do that, then I'll go. Haha, this is awesome. AMD could loosely be in the middle of one right now. That looks like one. Doesn't quite have the exact signature. It's up 159%. Goes up proportionally. I'd say it kind of qualifies. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have the same move, stop, move up. This would not count. I guess that does count. AMD. Circa 2017. What did I say, 117% for the post run? And the pre-run is 185. Pre-run 185. So that one's not bad either. Looks like it wants to continue too. I don't know, buddy. So that's it. Okay, we've yeah. That's some good work, ladies and gentlemen. That is actually really good work. We got Thank you, Topher. Appreciate some of the suggestions you had there, buddy. Yeah, Netflix, Apple, AAXN, Nvidia, and AMD, guys. All good to go. All looking great. Looking a lot like Tesla stock. Looks like we're SE. Did you get one? Get another one, Topher? Topher doing some homework with me. I love it. Everyone usually just watches me and expects me to do everything for them. Too tight? Oh. No. You did this part 3 times benching. All right. Sorry, kid got hurt. SE maybe. It looks like it kind of exhausted its momentum. That's not quite right. Not quite right. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for joining me. For those of you that stayed and hung out, appreciate it. For those of you that didn't, you lazy bastards. Good work, guys. All right. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow for stocks in the morning at 6:30 and then or 7:30, and then for crypto a little bit later after that. All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye.